The hospital corridor was quiet, the kind of silence that hums after a long night of pain and prayers. In a small private room, a woman lay resting, her hands gently curved around her stomach, guarding the tiny heartbeat within her. Her name was Elena. She was 7 months pregnant, tired but at peace. Then the door opened, and peace was broken. Before I tell you what happened next, the narrator's voice softens, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley, and tell me where you're watching from. The sound of heels clicked against the hospital tiles, sharp, deliberate, echoing with pride. A woman in red stepped inside. Her perfume filled the air before her words did. It was Clara, the woman who had been secretly seeing Elena's husband. Clara didn't come to visit out of care. She came to win. To gloat. To see if the woman she had hurt still had the strength to smile. Elena looked up, startled. Her eyes widened with confusion, not anger. "Can I help you?" she asked, her voice thin from exhaustion. Clara smirked. "Help me? No. I just came to see the woman who couldn't even keep her husband's attention." The words fell heavy. The nurse in the corner froze. The clock on the wall ticked louder. Elena's hand tightened around the bedsheet, but she said nothing. Outside, just a few feet away, Daniel, her husband, stood quietly in the corridor. He had come to bring her flowers, hoping to make up for days of distance. He didn't mean to overhear, but when he heard Clara's voice, he stopped, frozen, breath caught in disbelief. Inside the room, Clara walked closer. "Look at you," she whispered, still pretending to be the perfect wife. "Do you know how many nights he—" But she never finished, because Elena smiled. A tired, fragile smile that somehow carried peace. "Clara," she said softly, "if you've come here to hurt me, I forgive you, truly, but don't forget, whatever you do to another woman, life has a quiet way of showing it back to you." Her voice was calm, but her words struck deep. Clara scoffed, rolling her eyes, pretending not to care. "Forgive me? For what? For telling you the truth?" But before she could say more, Daniel walked in. His face pale, his hand still holding the bouquet that now seemed so useless. For a moment, none of them spoke. The air itself seemed to stop. Clara's lips parted, shock spreading like a slow wave. "Daniel." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "Leave," he said quietly, "before I forget who you once pretended to be." The authority in his voice wasn't anger. It was disappointment. And that hurts more. Clara stepped back, her pride crumbling. For the first time, she looked small. When she left, the echo of her heels didn't sound powerful anymore. They sounded empty. Daniel turned toward Elena. His eyes glistened, not from guilt, but realization. He sat beside her bed, lowering his head into his hands. "I thought I'd lost myself, Lena," he whispered. "But you never stopped believing in me." She smiled faintly. "Love isn't about being perfect," she said. "It's about being honest when you finally see the truth." He reached for her hand. She let him. Outside, the morning sun broke through the window, soft, golden light spilling across the bed like forgiveness itself. 20 seconds passed before the narrator's voice returned, quiet and reflective. Sometimes life doesn't shout its lessons. It whispers them, through the people who choose grace instead of revenge. That day, Daniel didn't just lose his mistress. He regained his conscience, and the world didn't need to know what happened, because the real victory was silent. In the hallway, the nurse who had watched everything smiled faintly. She'd seen countless arguments, heartbreaks, and tears in that hospital, but rarely grace. Later that evening, she told a colleague, "I saw something today. A woman strong enough to forgive, and a man humble enough to change. Maybe that's what healing truly looks like, and maybe she was right. In a world quick to judge, real strength is not in shouting back. It's in standing tall with kindness, even when you're bleeding inside. Because what's spoken in anger fades, but what's done with grace echoes forever." If this story moved you, like, comment, and share your Kindness Valley thoughts below, and subscribe for more untold stories that remind us what it means to be human.